Sweet Jesus, 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 Jesus. I love to praise your name. I love to lift you up. We bless your name. Sweet Jesus, 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 Jesus. Yeah, 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 because I gotta praise him. Yeah, yeah. So hello everyone, and I did the intro because I wanted to give, I'm gonna save this video, but I wanted to give anyone who wanted to watch an opportunity. I just reached out to a couple of people and said I'm going live, but you know, now is just the perfect opportunity for me to go live and to actually talk about The Unbreakable Woman, the book. So excited about this release. If you've been on the page Unbreakable Woman, you know that God really put this project in my spirit a couple of years ago. And I would say I did not want to share it. I did not want to share it. And I will be honest and tell you that I did not share everything either. Don't think we have to share everything, but I really wanted to just, I only touched the surface of what I believe is happening in this world today and some of the things that we're faced with. But I do want you all to know that this is only the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what God is doing, what he's going to do with this project. This is just one of many, really. It's the first one. It wasn't even supposed to be the first. Well, yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. This was supposed to be the first project. So I just kind of want to come live and just let everybody know, thank you, thank you, thank you. I put the Unbreakable Woman book, I put the page up this morning when I got up after like around 7. And I already had like 100 likes within an hour. So I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I've been sending private messages to different people who knew that I was working on the book and kept pushing me, priming me, prepping me, like keep writing, don't stop writing. I know it's painful. I found out that I am definitely a weeping writer. It was bad. When I first started, it was really bad because I wouldn't continue to write. And that's what took so long, because I wouldn't continue to write because it was painful. It was very painful to have to kind of relive some of those moments so that I could capture it on paper. And I think that it was very rewarding. And I'm going to share in a video, you know, kind of my morning, you know, knowing that this morning the ebook went live. Paperback, you had to order that and it gets to you. But I knew when that ebook goes live, everybody who has an opportunity to purchase that book is going to receive something that God has birthed through me. It was an humbling moment, a very humbling moment. And I would just say who this book is for, I think I want every woman to read it. If a man sows desire to read it, he can. And I know that it will bless him, and he may have sisters. He may have a mother that can identify with some of these things. There's so many things that we go through in our community and we don't share it. We hold on to it. We suffer in silence. We secretly suffer, and we don't share it with others. So that's really what this project is about, is my give back. And hopefully through this that I'll be able to bless someone else. I've heard last week, I heard there was another young lady who her boyfriend killed her. She had left. Now, honestly, that's the hardest part, is being able to leave. But she left and then she came back. And that's when it happened. So that's why I had been holding that button. Like, I would not click release on the button because I was thinking, oh, I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking about me. And God convicted my spirit. I was washing dishes. And after I seen that story, God convicted my spirit and was like, release that book. I'm like, oh, but God, I'm going to put more to it. I'm going to put this around it. I'm going to go in and put some scriptures here and there. And God was like, no, release that book. Release that book. So what I need your help with is to help me to release this book, because there are so many people, and not just women, but there are, the majority of us who experience this are women, but there are men who experience it as well. But there are so many women that are suffering right now, who need us, who need our help, who need to come out of their situation. And sadly, so many women don't make it out alive. We don't make it out alive. And so I just thank God and I praise him that I made it out alive. And it was dangerous for me. It was dangerous for him, because it's a double-edged sword that you're dealing with. And when you are being tested and tried so many times, you yourself can become an abuser. And people don't understand that. You yourself can become an abuser just as well. Just as well. And that's where I felt myself getting towards the end. But, in this book, we talked about, I talked about where it all began. And so I just kind of shared a little bit of the story, because, and that really where it all began, that's for my teenagers. Those are for my young babies right now. They're young and, falling in love, this guy, and ladies, y'all already know, that fella got a lot of growing up to do before he actually becomes only a few maybe can stick with her at in her teenage years and not cheat, not do crazy things, not take her through a whole lot of things. There's a few that can, but for the majority, that he's still got a lot to do. And a lot of times us as women, we mature much faster, and we may feel that we're ready for something that this gentleman isn't ready for. And we find ourselves getting caught up in situations with people that are not ready for us. They're not ready for what we bring to the table. And that's one of the things that we have to understand, is that if a guy is not ready for me and what I bring to the table, even for my seasoned women, even for my women in our 30s and 40, whatever, 50, yes. Sometimes we want to bring something to the table in a relationship, and he's not ready. He's not ready for that. And sometimes we promote him to, husband before he's husband. He's just like 2 months in as boyfriend, and he's already got husband. What? He can get dinner? No, you can buy me dinner, but you can't get dinner. I'm not cooking you anything. I wish Miss Shantae was on. She could help me with that, because that's her whole motto, is that she's not cooking for a man until it's her spouse. Yeah. But anyway, so where it all began. And then I talked about the marriage. Kind of how I briefly talked about how we went from where it all began to the marriage. I was with this guy from the age of 17 until 30. And a lot happened. A lot that I couldn't even, it was way painful. Then I talked about the infertility. A lot of people, they kind of dance around the fact, you don't have kids, you never had kids, da, 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 da. It was a real hard time for me. That was a very, very hard time for me, not being able to have children while I was married, and even going to the doctor with unexplained infertility. And then I don't even know if I shared my dream, but I'm going to talk about that in the masterclass. But God showed me something in a dream, and I just kind of had to go by, no more fertility treatments, no more drugs, no more doing all that, because God woke me up and he showed me what I was getting myself into. And so I thank God for that. And then the infidelity, we talked about the infidelity. Oh my goodness, how a woman can feel so responsible, how she can feel so responsible for when a man cheats on her, and understanding, and this is going to come through the masterclass as well, but understanding that you're not responsible for for a man that you're in a relationship, for him cheating on you. You're definitely not responsible for your husband cheating on you. I know that there's a lot of different views on that, but when you take vows and you say I do, no, that's what that means. That means I do. So, hey, yeah, we may be having a dry spell, but I don't know what, you better figure it out, because I mean, God does not, he doesn't okay that. So just helping a woman to just think through the different things. I know that my self-esteem was what was hit the most with the infidelity. I felt like, and in the beginning of the book, I said, I was young and full of energy, ready to live my life. I'm going to be an attorney. I'm going to be something, major, major, major. And I did actually, I would say I had a very good career, but I had so many obstacles where I could not really enjoy my life. And it was so hard because there was so many people around me, and they thought because I had this and that my life was what it needed to be. And if I just could scream, if I could let people hear what was screaming on the inside of me, I suffered in a way that people didn't even know that I suffered. They didn't even know that I was in a lot of pain. But being able to, not go into your home and not being able to just settle in after a long, hard day of work, and every day, you know that it's going to be something. You don't know exactly what it's going to be, but you know that it's going to be something. And then you get it to a point to where you're thankful that when you pull up, that he's not there, but it's, and all in the back of your mind, you're thinking, what am I doing? What is going on? Why am I here? What did I do wrong? See, so that was the thing that I had to be delivered from, thinking that I had done something wrong to cause this to happen to me. But understanding and knowing that, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And the fact of the matter is, I can't do anything to fix him. And so we have to embrace that. And that was just one of the things that I wanted to bring out. I didn't expound on any of these topics deeply, but just kind of gave the tip of the iceberg, because I really wanted to, I felt the Lord leading me to deliver it through masterclass and deliver it through one-on-one, deliver it in group sessions, because there is some real hurt out here. And plus I was crying too much as I was writing, so there was no way I could have got it all into the book. Then I kind of talked about the last year of marriage, what that looked like for me when I received the revelation, when I realized that I could not help this individual any longer. But still, and I share this because still having to hear the voice of God, having to have the mind to leave, having to have a plan to leave, because he was very violent. There was no just picking up and leaving. You can't just pick up and leave. And I think that a lot of times that's the thing that people don't understand, is that when some people are in such violent situations that they cannot just pick up and leave. It's not wisdom to just pick up and leave. It's not wisdom to stay, but it's not wisdom to just say, oh, I'm leaving, pack all of my stuff, get all my stuff, and get in your car and go. Well, that was not my situation. I could not just pack up all my stuff and get up and go. Okay, it had to be well planned out. And as I prayed about it, and when I felt the release in my spirit that it was time, God parted ways for me. And my friends all thought that he was going to kill me. I thought he was going to kill me. I thought that the only way that this was going to end, I was going to kill him or he was going to kill me. We came real close to it. And I praise God for that we did not actually end up in prison, or neither one of us did. I feel like that even in the midst of everything that we went through, we were still blessed because we're both still living and neither one of us is in jail. So definitely going to be talking about more of that. And also one of the things that, thank you, Fantasha, for joining. Janelle, hello. Thank you for all of the support, Miss Teresa, Miss Edie. Oh my goodness. I am I'm blessed. I'm blessed that God would use me to do this. And I really want to be able to, take this to the shelters and things of that nature. So y'all keep me in your prayers. And whatever God has given you all, let's partner up together, whatever your prayer you need to be able to get your piece out there, because everybody has a story to tell, and there's always going to be somebody that's going to benefit from your story. Just towards the end of the book, I kind of went into divorce and dating again and what that looked like and how fearful I was to even date again. And not just to even date again, but the fact that I was 17 when we met and started dating, and then I was 30. I came out from 17 to 30. Ladies, my mind was still probably at 18 dating at 30 years old. Things had changed. And not just things had changed, I was way behind the curveball. So there was some major no-nos. Like, I look back and I'm thinking, what was your problem? Where did he come from? Why was he here? But that's the thing that people have to understand, is that you're coming out, you're growing, you have a lot of healing to do. And even as we go from relationship to relationship, we don't allow ourselves to heal. And we have to allow ourselves to heal so that God can actually bring us the partner that is fitting for us and we're fitting for him. Understanding the abuser, and then at the end, building a new life. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It has not been easy. I tell you, God asked me to give him the same amount of time that I gave my ex-husband, and I thought to myself, what? Give you the same amount of time that, and really what that meant was just as much time as you were in that battle and in that relationship, and it wasn't all bad. I talked about the 80-20, but when you get to a point, so for a long time, I lived on what was good in the beginning. That's how I ended up staying in a relationship, because I lived on what was good in the beginning. We were inseparable. We did everything together. We even job hunted together. I talked about that. But as he grew and as his sphere changed and his friends changed, and there was a lot of things that he allowed to come into the marriage that was very, very hurtful, very detrimental, very painful for myself. And I didn't know how to, transition from, this was the man that I dated, this was the man who he is now, because let's be honest, people change. They do. People change. We change. As we grow, we change. So we have to be aware of that, and knowing that through every change and transition, if a person is mistreating you ever, basically you got to deal with that from the get-go. You got to deal with that from the beginning. You got to sit them down and let them know, hey, this is not acceptable. You can't do this. And if that person continues to do that, then you've got to pray unto the Lord and ask him what it is, that the steps that you need to take. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. So that's why I just like to say, pray unto the Lord, and then the one-on-one coaching, if that's necessary, then you got to get that, getting some type of counseling to help you to work through the situations. A lot of women are taken for granted in situations where a lot of us, especially if we're loving and we're giving and we're caring and we're concerned, a lot of times we're taken for granted. Or we've been taken for granted so much, we shut ourselves down. Yeah, we got to talk about that, because we do shut ourselves down. We block ourselves off, put up a big wall, and then guess what? When we start back trying to go into dating someone, then we just, everything that you put that wall up against, everything that you put that wall up against, if you didn't actually go through the healing process. And I tell my friends, it's okay for you to date if while you're going through some things, but you must understand that it's important for you to take the time to care for yourself. And when you shut yourself off for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and this is not you're not living a life of, you don't feel like you've been called to celibacy or whatever, and you just decide that you're not going to have a husband or anything like that, that's different. But if that's not your calling, if that's not what you're after, then it's important for you to continue to fellowship. It's important for you to continue to date, because a lot of times you get, your mind is not where it needs to be and you're out of practice. It's okay, to date. So a little bit about that, and then building a new life. So building a new life, I don't think I went into a whole lot of detail. It's so funny because I was so afraid to actually write. But then when I started writing, it just started to flow out, and whatever the Lord said, right, that's basically what's here. But it's not always easy. So if you have someone in your family, if it's you yourself who's been through anything, you have to give yourself some grace. You have to grace yourself. You have to grace yourself. You have to trust yourself again, because that's the biggest thing. That was the hardest thing for me, is, can I trust me to take care of me like I know I should? Like, if I see something going on, am I going to speak up, and am I going to stand up for myself and talk to this person and let them know, hey, that's not acceptable? So you have to have the grace, and you have to trust yourself that you're going to take care of yourself. But not just that, mainly one of the things in the relationship that I'm in now, before I entered into that relationship, me and the Lord kind of wrestled with it, because I was like, no, not doing it. And then the Lord just kind of put it on my heart. You have to trust me to take care of you. That wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, because I had been through so much pain. And even now, I still find myself working through certain situations where, it's a spinoff from all that I've been through. So I just want to encourage you tonight that whatever it is that you are having to recover from, whatever it is that you have been through, just know that you can build a new life. And that's really what it's all about. It's helping people that are in these situations, helping them to get out alive. We want to help people to get out alive. And then we want to help them to heal. We want to help them to pray them into a new life, and then get them rehabilitated and back into, society, feeling confident about themselves, and knowing that they can go on with their life, and they're not going to forever be haunted by the things that happen to them. Because I know there are some things that still haunt me until I began to pray about them. But there are some things that can come up in my mind that happened to me, and the tears will begin to flow, because I asked even me, the older me, asking the younger me, how could I have went through that? How could I have went through that? I can't believe that happened to me. So it's the ongoing process of healing, Don't be ashamed of anything that you've been through. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Because people will say, if I was in that situation, then I would have did this or I would have did that. Girl, let me tell you, I would have. That's what I would have done. They wouldn't done nothing. Wouldn't have done nothing. Now you may have, but if you've ever been in that situation, you really can't say what you would have done. You can't say what you would have done. So most importantly, our job here, I think I have all Christian women here, our job is to pray for the women. Pray for the women that we know are hurting. If you know of a woman that's in a relationship and she haven't actually said that she's hurting, but you can identify with some pain inside of her, pray. 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 And I say pray even more. Pray over our young women. That's the area of prayer that I really want us to hone in on, is praying over our young girls. I was driving Lyft because, I'm in my free zone right now. I was driving Lyft and I had a young girl in the car. She was 17 years old. And she told me, she was like, I was actually writing the book when I picked her, during the time that I picked her up. And she was telling me, you guys made it. Y'all was together for like 13 years. That's good. She was like, me and my man, we've been together for 2 years. She was like, but we kind of fight a lot, but at least we 2 years, right? She's 17. We got some issues out here. We got some real issues out here. We got some re-educating to do about what a healthy relationship looks like. What a healthy relationship looks like, what it does to you when you remain in a toxic relationship, how it affects you, how it even can cause some physical issues from all of the stress that you're under. I don't want to gross anyone out, but there was just this thing when I went under a lot of stress, like say for instance, if the rage gotten really high and I was resting, if the rage got high while I was resting, my stomach would just begin to just churn and churn like I had a stomach virus. I have a stomach virus, but just guess what? I had to pay for all of that. My body had to pay for all of that. So you ask yourself, was it all worth it? And when you ask yourself, was it all worth it? The answer is definitely no. Did God grow you through that? Yes, he did grow you through it, but it was not worth it. So therefore, if you know that the situation is unhealthy, you have to address it. It's necessary that it is addressed. You do not let anyone continue to do you wrong, and you don't open up the mouth that God has given you to speak up for yourself. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And God did not design either of us to be beat up on, or to be mistreated, or to be cheated on, okay? Or to be mishandled. I'm big on that. Don't mishandle me, because I'm a woman of God and I know who I am. Do not mishandle me. So that means treat me with kindness. Speak to me like I'm a human. Talk to me like I'm real and that I'm important, because you are important. And if you're with someone that is not showing you those things and he doesn't treat you with value, don't put up with it. You deserve the best. Okay? And Jesus is the best. So guess what? If he never comes, okay? If he never comes, I believe he will, because you got some praying sisters and all you need to do is just pray. But sometimes we want him to come, but we're not ready. We ain't ready. Honestly, we're not ready. We have not taken the time out to pray, to deal with the things that we have been going through. We have not taken the time out to really just get our mental in order to be able to deal with someone. Because when you have been in an abusive relationship and you come out and you go into another relationship, you will have the tendencies to think that this person is going to do the same thing to you. It's just natural. It's human nature. And even if that person is not doing it to you, if he does any little thing that looks like it's going to lead to the way that that other person treated you, then you will overreact. So, healing, important. Talking through it, seeking counseling. I did get counseling. Well, quite a bit of counseling. And I still will go back at times, even now, if I feel like I'm struggling with some things, because, it's good to be healthy. You got to keep your mind healthy. You got to keep your heart healthy, and a lot of prayer. And like I said, the grace forgive yourself. I had a hard time forgiving myself. I would not forgive myself. I think it took about 5 years, honestly, for me to just embrace terror again and forgive myself for the things that I allowed me to experience. And that's really, like I was saying, for our young girls, we want to try to help them how we can. And before they create this pattern in their life, teaching them what to look for, teaching them what not to put up with, teaching them, to be the queen that you are. And if anyone is not treating you as such, then you really need to deal with that. And at a young age, not even staying with that. I won't mention that, but I want to talk about that in the master class. I had a thought, but something for young girls. And, don't be so quick to get into a serious relationship. Don't be so quick to do so. Because when you tie yourself down to one person, then you've opened up your heart to a lot of other vulnerabilities, and you really need to be focused on, building your life and living your life. And even us as women now, 30, 40 years old, we still have to keep ourselves, leveled. We got to stay leveled. Even if we are in a relationship, he needs to know I'm a girl that got goals. I got things to do. I may not can cook every night, okay? Because God has called me out to do some big things in my life. And he needs to know how to go in there and get it cooking and matching it up and making sure that you eat and do things you're supposed to be able to do. And that your dreams are important. I don't even have enough time to talk about some of the things that I see as older women, and that the things that they put up with, because that's a whole nother ball game for a whole nother day. But anyway, even them, even a seasoned woman, you deserve the best. Because when you're not treated right, you're shortening your life. Your heart can't take all of that every day. You can't take all of that every day. So anyway, woo! Thank you all for watching. Thank you, those of you who've already purchased your ebook. I want to talk about that just a little bit. So there is a paperback book along with the ebook. And if you purchase the paperback book, you get the ebook, I think, for 99 cents or something like that. But anyway, there's also more things to come. Let me see, anything else that I want to mention. I'm going to see who purchased the book. I'll be able to see that tonight. And I'm going to put something together for you guys. But I just want to really just come on and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't mean to talk that much, but if you know my mom, then you know the problem, okay? You know where the problem lies. But anyway, I just want to tell you guys that I love you all. I love each one of you that are here, that are watching, those of you who have commented on the side, those who are liking the page, sharing. Thank you so much, because it's really not about me. Someone asked me about the monetization of it, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, well, you got to price it. But anyway, that's not the most important piece. The most important piece is that we are helping women, young and old, come out of ugly situations, okay? and helping them to heal and to go back into society healthy and whole, lacking nothing, trusting God to take care of them. All right. So to you all, thank you, love you, and have a great, what time is it? I've been working so hard all day. 8:24 p.m. So thank you and have a great night. Love you guys.